Hi, crafty friends. Welcome back to Jessie Kate Creates. I'm Jessica, and I've been away for a while, but I am finally back. And I figured today we could do some stenciling and talk a little bit about where I've been and what I have planned coming up for my channel. So for our stenciling, today I am using the Jolly Season stencils from the Ton. I picked these up on a whim at a scrapbooking show, and I'm finally getting a chance to sit down and play with them. So the stencil is really cool because one sheet of cardstock is going to create four A2 sized card panels. Now there are four different layers to this stencil, but for one of the layers, layer number 3, you're actually going to use two different colors. And I decided that for some fun and texture on my card, for the second layer, I would actually do some, use some stencil paste. So I'm actually going to be doing layer number 2 last. Now, one thing I did really like about these stencils is that it has the layer numbers etched onto the stencil so that it's very clear, which layer each stencil is. I hope you can see this here, that it has like layer 1 etched on there. It also has color suggestions, which you, of course, do not have to follow, but it's just a little bit of a loose guide if you need some inspiration. I also really like that in the corner of the stencil, it has the guides etched in so that you know where to line up your cardstock so that everything lines up on the stencils. So I've just taped those down, and I'm just going to be doing some ink blending with a couple different colors for all of the different layers. So here I'm just starting with a light blue. So, like I said, I know I've been gone for a while. I think I posted like a handful of videos in November and December, but I did not post anything on my channel at all, or on my Instagram for that matter, the past month. So, where have I been? Honestly, you guys, I just got really busy and I needed to take a little bit of a break. So, for the fall, this past fall, I signed up for a lot of craft shows, probably more than I should have, but I just every year I do different craft shows, and there are a couple that happen in the fall that I'd never done before, and I wanted to try them. It was kind of like I was feeling a bit froggy and I decided I was going to jump. So that's what I did, which it was really fun. It was a neat experience, but it also just wore me out a little bit. So, for like October through December, I was doing a craft show every other weekend, sometimes every weekend. Some of the craft shows were multiple days, so it just got to be a lot. And by the end of it, I was just really tired. um, which I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. I really liked all the craft shows that I did. Really quick here, for layer number 3, which is what I'm working on now, this is one of the stencils where you have to use two different colors on one layer. And to be a little bit more precise about where I'm putting down my ink, I'm just using a smaller blending brush. But so the craft fairs I did were really fun, and I met a lot of really cool people. I had some really fun, crafty conversations with folks. All around, I had a good time, but it did take up a lot of my energy. And by the end of December, I was just really tired and I just needed a little bit of a break. I was also a little bit crafted out. I had been doing so much making for all of the months kind of leading up to the fall and then during the fall so I could keep up with my shows that I just needed a little bit of a break. I was feeling a little bit worn out. So plus it was the holiday season, so you have all the like normal hecticness of the holiday times too. So when January rolled around, work was a slow period for work for me. I didn't have any craft shows lined up. So I decided, you know what, I'm just going to take a little bit of a break. So that's what I did for the first 2 months of January. I just took a little bit of a break from crafting. And by mid-January, I was ready to get back to it. I'd kind of taken 2 weeks off from crafting. That was cool and all, but I was missing my craft desk. I had projects that I wanted to try, I had ideas in my head, and it was ready to like give them a go. Really quick here now, I am just using a paper towel to get rid of some of the excess green ink. because the next color that I'm going to use here is going to be a really light pink, and if it mixes with that green ink, it's just going to create a really unpleasant gray color that I want to try to avoid. But so yeah, I was ready to get back to it. I was ready to do some filming. So over the course of like a week and a half, I kind of carved out some time and I sat down and I filmed 3 or 4 different videos. I think like 3 videos. And I was really excited about it. I put the footage onto my camera to edit, or onto my computer to edit it, and it was bad. It was really bad. So I should say I do all of my filming with my Android phone. I don't have a camera or anything fancy. I just use my phone. And for the most part, that works out really well. Um, but all of the footage I filmed was a little bit shaky. It was almost like the camera was having a hard time focusing. And I tried adjusting the settings and that didn't do anything. I checked the mount that I use for my phone to make sure that was fine. And it was. We tested my husband's phone and his did just fine. So I think it's just something going on with my phone, which I'll be honest, I'm a bit of a klutz. Recently, I have dropped my phone a few times, so I'm wondering if that's what it is. Everything else on my phone works fine, but it's just struggling when it comes to recording videos. So I was a little bit heartbroken to see all that footage that I could not use on my phone. And while I do have goals and plans to eventually get myself a camera for filming, right now it's just not really in the budget. So I really wasn't sure what I was going to do. So me and my husband kind of sat down, did some problem solving, and decided that for now I could just film my videos with his phone, which is so awesome. I'm so fortunate that I work from home and my husband works from home, and that using his phone is an option. But we have different work schedules, so it gets a little bit difficult to find a time when I am able to film and he doesn't need his phone. But we've been making it work. So, what does all of this mean for my channel? The first thing is that it means I don't know exactly what my upload schedule is going to be like. The goal is to post at least 1 video a week. I would really like to do more, but the goal for now is at least 1 video a week. The other thing it means is that you guys are going to get some project shares coming up here recently. And that's just because the projects that I initially filmed that I can't use, like that had the bad footage, I tried filming those a second time, and again, it just didn't work out. So instead of trying to film them a third time, I figured I'd just do project shares on those projects, on those cards. So you could still see the cards, you'd still see what I created, and I could still share it with you because I'm really proud of those cards. But that way I can also move on to different projects and different cards to share with you guys. So that's the plan for the channel right now. Okay, going back to the stencil really quick, I added on the second layer, and this is the one where I'm going to use some stencil paste. And for this one, I did use pixie spray, mainly because the bows and the ribbons on some of the presents, I was worried about those lifting up when I put down the paste. So to make sure I didn't have to worry about that, I just went ahead and used pixie spray. Now here, I am making my own stencil paste by using some heavy gel. I have gloss and matte, and I'm just mixing those up together. And this is not my idea. Like, this isn't something I came up with on my own. I saw another YouTuber do this, and I will put her, I'll put her video in the description box below. I can't think of her name right now, but she shows you how you can make your own stencil pastes, which are really cool because you can make them to be any color that you want them to be, and also it's a little bit more affordable. So I just use some red re-inkers that I have in my stash, and I also added in a little bit of glitter. Now I wish I'd added more glitter in. Once this dries, you can see a little bit of the glitter, but not that much, and I think it's just because I didn't add enough. So if I was redoing this, I would definitely add in more glitter here. But I'm just taking this paste and kind of spreading it on like I'm putting butter on a piece of bread. And one thing that you might be noticing right now is that I made up way too much paste. Like this is much more than I needed for this project. But there is no way, like that's so much paste. It would pain me to throw that out. So what I do instead, I take this stencil and I go and I put it in the sink so that it doesn't dry with the paste on it because that would be a nightmare to clean off. And I just went ahead and grabbed the closest stencil to me, which happened to be this stencil here from a Colorful Life Designs called, I think it's just called Paws. And it's just these adorable doggy paws. And I thought this would be really fun to use, and I just will have this now in my stash. So I'm just going to make as many of these prints with this stencil as I can until um, my paste runs out. Now, I'm not turning any of these into cards in these videos. This was really, like I said, I just wanted to play with that stencil from the ton. I've had it in my stash for a few months now, and I've just been itching to give it a go and see what it's like. So this was just about playing, and now I have these backgrounds in my stash, and they'll be ready to go whenever I need them, or whenever I feel like turning them into a card. I also really want to thank you guys for being so supportive of me and my channel. I know I was gone for a while and I was just kind of MIA, and I am so thankful and grateful that so many of you stuck around, or some of you even found my channel during that time. And I just really appreciate all the support you give my channel, whether that's liking the video, commenting, or subscribing to the channel. It means a lot to me, so thank you. So now here we have all of our dried and completed stencils. I absolutely adore the way that these turned out. It's kind of hard to see the texture paste there, but it almost kind of has a satin finish. When I show the paws stencil, you'll see that a little better. But I absolutely love that with those 4 stencils, I now have 4 really cute, fun card fronts just ready to be cut up and made into cards. So I also got 3 of the dog paw stencils, and here you can see a little better how it has that kind of satiny finish. I really do wish I'd added more glitter or maybe sprinkled some glitter on top, but I do enjoy how this turned out. So that is the video for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that you will see all of the videos I come out with in the future. Thanks so much for watching and have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.